Hi there, I'm Marcy. This is my first ever video in this kind of style, so bear with me if it's a bit rough around the edges. I'm not that great with editing, but I really wanted to get this video out there, so I'm probably just going to put some random like power washing gameplay or something in the background. Feel free to have this video playing in the background if you want. I'll probably put some graphics on screen every once in a while, but for the most part, just sit back and relax while I spew my nonsense. This video will contain spoilers for chapters 1 through 4 of Deltarune, but if you're watching a Deltarune theory video, you've probably already played them. Anyway, on with the video. I was lying in bed last night, trying to fall asleep, but something kept me up. A thought in the back of my mind. Why are we here? And more specifically, why are we, the soul, put in the world of Deltarune? It's made clear in Chapter 4 that Carol, Kris, and the Knight are working together in some capacity towards some goal. We don't know what that goal is yet, but whatever it is, they seem to need us, the soul, to do it. This begs the question, why? Why would they need a soul in the first place if Kris already had one? At first, you might think, oh, well, maybe people in the Deltarune universe don't have souls like in Undertale, but they do. In the library in Hometown, you can find a book about souls. So if Kris already had a soul, why would they need us for whatever they're planning? Wouldn't they just use their own soul? We know we didn't possess their soul because we can see our soul take shape in the Goner Maker intro. Well, what if, prior to Chapter 1, Kris didn't have a soul? They seem to be able to move around just fine without us, albeit a bit zombie-like. Judging by the birdcage in Kris's room, they seem to have been expecting us. This was planned, most likely by them and Carol for whatever goal they're moving towards. The rest of this video will work under the assumption that the night is December holiday. You're perfectly allowed to have your own theory on that matter, but for the purposes of this video, the night will be assumed to be Des. If Kris didn't have a soul, but everyone else in the Deltarune universe does, that begs the question, where did their soul go? Did they ever have one, or did they lose it at some point before the beginning of the story? We've never seen any evidence that a person can be born without a soul in Undertale or Deltarune, so we're left with the latter option. What happened to Kris's soul? Hear me out. What if the Knight has it? Okay, I know that came out of nowhere, but bear with me. Deltarune is described by Toby as Undertale's parallel story. In Undertale, Kara's soul is absorbed by Azrael when they die. What if something similar happened in Deltarune? I believe that Kris lost their soul and Des absorbed it, turning her into a being of incredible power. But wouldn't that just kill Kris if they lost their soul? I hear you asking. And normally I'd say yes, but we've seen in Undertale that people can persist after death if they have enough determination. Kris is certainly determined, enough so that they betray their friends to work with the Knight. But what about Des? Well, the only other time we've seen someone absorb a soul on screen was in Undertale, with Azrael at the end of the Pacifist Retreat. He grows tall and dark streaks appear around his cheeks, the darkness consuming him. And I believe the same thing happened to Des. Here's what I think happened. One night, Kris and Des go into the bunker, and something happens to one of them. We don't know exactly what yet. We'll have to wait for future chapters to flesh out this part of the story. But Kris gives up their soul to Des to save her. But in turn, it turns her into an eldritch horror that is slowly being rotted away at the core. In the light world, she deteriorates with every passing second. But in the dark world, she's able to pause her inevitable death, which is why Susie says that the Knight wouldn't be able to fight them in the light world. Her form may be somewhat intact, but her mind is broken. Kris, racked with grief and pinning the blame all on themselves, makes a promise to Carol to try to bring Des back and restore their soul, no matter the cost. Using Kris's knowledge of the arcane, they make a deal with the devil, a man shattered across space and time. He tells them to await the arrival of an angel. He warns them of this angel's power and suggests a cage. What the devil gets in return is yet to be seen, But Kris wakes up on the day the man said the angel would arrive and feels different. They can't move on their own. They can't speak. The angel has found its cage, and Kris must deal with this burden until the time comes that they may use our power to save Des and get their original soul back. Or at least, that's the plan. As I was writing this video, Toby tweeted out some lines from Chapter 5. I'll put them on screen somewhere. It makes it pretty clear that the shadow crystals are made of pure determination, which really adds to the theory if we assume Des is the knight. Des already has a lot of connections and similarities to Azriel, both thematically and story-wise. Both were children that were lost at a young age whose disappearance broke a family apart. They've been shown to be quite close in Deltarune as well, perhaps even a thing at one point or another. And with Des absorbing a human soul, it would only strengthen those similarities. Undertale was about saving Azriel and Kara. I believe that Deltarune is going to be about saving December and Kris. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that little theory thing. I just couldn't get it out of my head, so I had to make a video about it. If you liked it, consider liking the video and subscribing. I might make more videos like this in the future. We'll see. See ya.